Hello and welcome, Coaching Secrets Insiders. This is Bernie, and today I have a special guest with me. We have Angela Martini, live from Canada, an Austrian lady which is living there, and she is living her passion. And I just want to introduce her to you because she is a woman that is a powerful woman, and she just should explain herself, what she's doing, why she's doing it, and what brought her the success. So Angela, hello and welcome. How are you and who are you?
Hi, Bernie. Yeah, Angela Martini here currently, and been living in Canada now for, well, since 1983, so quite some time. I am just like you, born and raised in Austria. So we could go on in our native language, but I know in English, people are going to just, understand us a little bit more, right? If we start talking in our Austrian slang, that's going to go someplace completely different. So I'm really honored to be here today with you, and it's an exciting thing. We met each other online for a lady that I met online was hosting an event. You were part of that event, and I was part of that event, and then here we are today, trading our own life lessons and secrets. And like I said, I'm honored to be here. So, who am I? Well, like I said, I was this little girl raised in Austria, and I had always these very large dreams in my head. I knew from a very young age that I was probably not going to live in Austria my entire life. I always knew there was so much out there in the wide world. And I'm going to date myself because I was born in the 60s. But I had this, as all the Austrians do, we watch a lot of skiing, downhill skiing, and I fell in love with the Canadians, right? Like the crazy Canucks. And I always knew one day I would come to Canada or to the US or something like that. That was one of my dreams. And lo and behold, my first love took me across the pond, and at the very young, tender age of 18, I up
Wow.
and packed two suitcases. That's all I had. And I left for the big wild world, and here I am, and I've never looked back. Now, I will say, doing what I've done at such an early age, really, changed something in me, right? I mean, when you do something like this at that age, you're full of, in English we say, piss and vinegar and excitement, and you just don't think about all the things you leave behind. But it was very good for me to grow up so quickly and to be on my own. And since I've been barely 18 years of age, well, when I was 15, I started working already. I've been on my own, financially taking care of myself, and I would never change that. That feeling of resilience and self-reliance, is an important one, and it's something that we also, my husband and I, instill in our children today, because I think it's an important lesson. So, long story. I mean, I've done lots of different things in my life, different careers, everything from sales to fitness. I was in the fitness industry for over 35 years, actually, as a fitness trainer, as a fitness instructor. I was at the beginning of the 80s of all the fitness trends and the aerobics trends. And if you think about leg warmers and all those things, I've done it all, been there, done that. And that was very exciting. I loved that part of my life. And I've always done different careers. Then I went back to school, went back into university later on in life, and studied actually a science degree in dental hygiene. I was a dental hygienist for over 10 years. I was in the dental field for over 15 years. And then I went back to school again because that's just the way it is. I got bored and I wanted something exciting and new. And I had always enjoyed interior design. So I went into interior design for 2 years, studied that, opened up a company, a successful company in the real estate staging, where you prepare houses for sale. Did that for some time. And then in my late 40s, changes. That business really was tough on my lifestyle. I had put some weight on, and I just wasn't feeling good about myself. And I was introduced to a product line, a supplemental product line, by a girlfriend of mine. And that was another big change in my life. And it was how I was actually introduced to my current profession, and really I would say a big passion of mine, and it's the profession of network marketing. So, or social marketing, or whatever you want to call it. Essentially, for me, in my late 40s, I really got connected with what I was passionate about. I've always been passionate about helping people. That's what got me in the fitness industry. I was passionate about, health. That's why I went into the dental industry, and, I made a good career out of that. And ultimately, all the things I felt good about, love hanging out with people, being with people, helping people, growing people, supporting people, brought me to this profession. So that's how that got started. I've been doing this now since, like I said, 2013 is when I went full time into this profession. I love it. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's an interesting profession. It's always changing. It's the opportunity to meet new people, to show people a different way of living, to show people a different way of earning, to show people, how they can take control of their financial future with their own efforts. Particularly women is what I'm passionate about, because when I was 24, my first husband, kind of from one day to the next, walked out of my life. And as he did, I was in really tough financial situation, not because I wasn't good at saving, or I wasn't good at even, I had multiple jobs at the time. I was always very industrious, but I had none of the credit cards, or the credit was in my name. So I was really, at that age, I had to start from scratch, and it was some really tough times for me. And I vowed at that time that would never, ever happen to me again. And I think that really did something to me in my head. And that's why I was always looking for ways to create income, multiple ways of income, different ways of income. And ultimately, this type of recurring or residual income, where you do the work, you create, in my case, a customer base of thousands and thousands of customers that not only did I get paid when I first brought those customers in, or other people brought those customers into my line of success, but over and over and over again, as people fall in love with the product line, as I have, and keep buying. So this is what I'm passionate about, showing women the way how they could create something, even part-time on the side, something that even creates perhaps a small income, increase that they can use to invest, right? I know that's what you're passionate about. And so it's something that I think, especially in the last 2 years where we find ourselves, it's more than ever important to do, right? How many of us, I'm in my late 50s, how many people do we know out there have enough money saved to live the life that they want, or to even think about living another 30, 40 years, right? Depending on how old you are, based on the lifestyle that you've gotten accustomed to. So this is where I'm at. So I'm so thankful that I have an opportunity to share a little bit with you today. I'm also a mother. I'm a mom of twin daughters. They are grown up now, 21. One is already completely out on her own. Also at 18 left home, just like her mom, pursued her passion, and one's still living with us as she is pursuing her university career. So that's kind of my life. I'm in my second marriage. I met my husband shortly after my first marriage went sideways, or ended, and him and I have been together now for almost 33 years. We are both entrepreneurial people. We always have been. My husband's very educated, 3 different degrees, engineering, law, business, all that stuff. But we've always kind of been the outliers. We don't like to be told what to do, and I don't like to be told that I have to go to work at such time and take my coffee break at such time. I would rather work for myself and work, twice as many hours, but work how I want to work. So that's what makes me tick. And I think that the timing of this conversation is so interesting, because if you look at all the stats out there of, with COVID and all the time that we are in, I read a Forbes article, and it said that 80% of people don't want to go back to work the way they used to work. They love being at home. They like being at home. They like the flexibility. They like, maybe being around family more. They've even found that maybe they can, it's better on the pocketbook, not having to drive somewhere, park the car, buy all those fancy clothes, and they can get the work done in their time. So this is the time to really explore, and it doesn't matter how old you are. I think that's an important message for me, for women especially. When I started this in my late 40s, um, I really was not very confident about technology. And when I started this business, I was not confident about social media, and that all just got started. But what I can say is that we can learn anything. Okay, we can be open, we can learn things, we can do things that we haven't done before. And today, anything is learnable, figure outable, and we can, with a click of a button, we can go on YouTube and we watch videos, and we can just apply ourselves, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. Right now, I'm learning a whole new skill again. I'm learning how to create online courses. That's a new skill for me, but it's exciting, right? Because again, you can kind of create some passion and some pride. And of course, we do it all for a growth financially as well as personal. So that's a little bit about me. I hope that I hope that answered some questions for you.
I think so, but it opened up another question or other questions. So, for example, you spoke about your financial education. What was this looking like? So you spoke about your as when you were young, when you left home at 18, you still had this mindset going on, this financial mindset. What was it looking like? So what were you taught? Did you have savings, or have you been taught have always some savings, or did you have a certain mechanism or a certain system in place that secured that you have a lot of enough money for your necessities, for example, and to have a joyful life at the same time, and to be able to go to America and live the life you desired there? So how was it looking like?
That's a really interesting question, because when we talk about money mindset, and what we kind of grew up in, or what was modeled to us, I grew up in a blue collar household, like most Austrians, small town, blue collar. My dad worked. He was a mechanic, and he worked actually for the city where I grew up in, the small town I grew up in. And he, back then, and this is going to sound very dated. Remember, I'm a child of the '60s. My dad was born in the '30s. My mom born in the '40s. My dad actually did not, and this is going to sound like this is, I find this almost, it's offensive today, but you have to remember the time. My dad did not want my mother to work, or actually didn't, quote unquote, allow her to work outside of the home. And it's because, back then, there was a lot of male pride, and he didn't, back then, the belief was held that if she had to work, or she was working outside the home, it looked like he couldn't provide for his family. And so
Okay.
that was kind of what I grew up in, like a very traditional household where the men went to work and the women were basically staying at home with the children. So that was it. I also remember, and this is I've done a lot of work over the years on this, and I continue to have to work on this, to be honest. This mindset of mine. I was told, or I grew up in a belief system where I was told that if you wanted too much in life, oh boy, bad things could happen. Like, you got to be very thankful. The typical Austrian attitude mindset. Oh, you got to be thankful and grateful, but oh, don't want for much, too much, because bad things are going to happen. So this was a mindset that was very much imprinted in me for a long, long time. Okay. I will say, coming to Canada and coming to the city that I came in, which was actually quite an entrepreneurial city, and always has been, I slowly started changing my mindset, okay, over the years. Not going to say that I didn't have fallbacks, or I still today often, if anyone of you guys haven't heard about John Maxwell, and John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid, right? We bump up against what kind of our top income brackets. And I remember very much the very first year in network marketing where I made a decision. I went to an event and I saw all these fantastic women walk across the stage, and they were all ages, all sizes, all backgrounds. And they were making, you know, six-figure incomes or more. And I was just beside myself because I had never earned that kind of income. And I remember thinking to myself, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And I remember that decision as clear as day. If we talk about, you know, maybe we can talk a little bit about the law of attraction. We can talk about, you know, manifestation, all the different things that we talk so much more about, quantum leaping. We can talk about all those things today. That decision I made that day was so, I've only ever had two intense moments like that in my life where I've decided, and I don't know if you've heard this before, but really deciding something is cutting yourself off of the possibility of it not happening. And I decided in that moment. I didn't know how. I didn't know I was making, I think I made 27,000 my first year in network marketing, somewhere 27,000. And then I jumped to 75,000 the second year. And
Oh,
in my
cool.
third year, I hit the six-figure mark, and I actually almost went double that. And it what I
Wow.
didn't know how. It just was, I decided, and I just and I want to bring that sort of awareness, because I know at everything we can think about and dream about, but we, you know, ardently desire and we are willing to put the work in. I know we can achieve it because I've had it happen to me. I will also say that I went that way, and then I got scared and I went backwards again. So I'm not saying it's a perfect journey, right? But I certainly have had that experience of that growth, and it was like the sky opened up and people started falling out of the sky because I made that decision. I had watched closely how people walked on stage. I, at the break of that event, went onto that stage. I took a picture of it, and I felt what it felt like when the music came on. You felt the vibration of the sound through my body. I felt that. I saw how people were given, you know, and I have some of those trophies over here. I saw how people were given that trophy, how they walked up, what happened, and I imagined that happening so closely. So what I'm saying with that is, open yourself up to the possibility of anything that you desire, whether it's a body, it's a relationship, it's a way of life, it is an income. I know it can happen. And I mean, I'm sure you've made that. I see the kind of life that you lead, right? And I think today, and I'm talking to you women right now, doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what background, you know, I've been through divorce, I've been through financial struggle, I've been through the ups and downs, I've been through so many different things. It doesn't matter. You can decide today that you make a change. And today, with everything you have at your disposal, with this internet, you can learn and grow, and you can partner with people like Bernie, that show people the way, right? That show people the way out of mediocrity, out of the life that you thought you had to live your entire life. I've seen things, I've traveled to places, you know what I mean? I've enjoyed the best foods, best hotels, first class travel, all the things that, you know, most people think they can never achieve. And not that that's what life is all about, but if that's what you want, you can have it. So I'm excited about the time that we're in, as kind of crazy as it is, right? And as for freedom fighters like myself and like you, and if you're watching this, you're probably one of us. You know, this kind of rattles your cage, right? Because this is different. This is not what we used to. But this is the time to put your foot on the gas, to put your foot down on that pedal, and to create something that nobody can take away from you. And we have that
Absolutely.
ability, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't know if that answered your questions, but the other thing I want to say is I started personal development. My husband and I started personal development in our late 20s, 30s. We started into personal development. We
Cool.
took some courses. We read a lot of books. All the books about, they're right here, right? They're all here, and I keep rereading them. And that is where you take responsibility for your own learning, for your own growth, and it's an ongoing thing. It's not like you can do that once and then stop doing that. It's an ongoing growth thing, because we're all kind of programmed, right, with the patterns of the past, with the patterns of our parents, with the patterns of our upbringing, with the patterns of maybe even our background countries, all that sort of thing. But that doesn't mean we can't change that.
Absolutely. You mentioned a very important thing that we also take care of, and this is the financial comfort zone, we call it. So everyone has his or her own comfort zone. That means if I'm asking you, for example, what is the number that you are willing to lose immediately? So what is a ridiculous amount of money where you say, I don't care if I'm losing it. If I'm buying a cocktail, I don't care if it costs whatever this number is. So this is the financial comfort zone. For some, it may be €5 or $5, and for some it may be $500. So there are people who are buying a glass of whiskey for $5,000. So, and this is financial comfort zone, and it's the same with any other comfort zone that you're within, that you're caught within sometimes. And if you leave it and stretch a bit, then the stretching expands this comfort zone. And this is exactly what you mentioned when you were explaining how it opened up, because suddenly, if it was $5 or if it was $10, suddenly your comfort zone expands, and $5 or $10 feels like even more ridiculous, and your new comfort zone is far above. So this is a very, very important mindset, and this is also something, if you see your savings grow, as it happens when we are investing, when we are teaching our women to how to invest, our family members, they are seeing their savings grow, and as they are seeing their savings grow, they're automatically expanding their financial comfort zone. Very important thing that you mentioned. And additionally, second thing that you mentioned is the mindset. So mindset is 80% of success when it comes to dealing with money, when it comes to whatever you do. I mean, you mentioned it. If you are setting your limits in your mindset, you have set the limits, and then you will not go beyond these limits. But if the limit is the sky, you can do everything and reach everything. And that's exactly what you're talking about, or what you've talked about, what we are also dealing with in Catching Secrets. And awesome, thank you. Yeah, that's.
I want to add one. I want to add one more thing to it, because this is I think, and maybe I just because of my age, because of where I grew up, all my programming, all the different things, and possibly because I'm a woman. And women are nurturers, right? And we're the caregivers to nurturers. But what really shifted, one of the things that really shifted and opened up this opportunity or this possibility, or blew off the lid of an income sort of ceiling for me, was in this profession of network marketing. Okay, or other, for me that's what it did, because here I earn more when I serve more, I earn more when I give more, I earn more when I grow more. It was just this thing that made it okay for me. I don't, it's hard for me to explain, but even when I was a dental hygienist, I was a very business-minded dental hygienist, because it's just who I am. And I went like literally a couple thousand under 100,000 a year. Do you know what I mean? Like I went so close, but I didn't, just so close, but I never got there. And it was this whole idea of in network marketing is the more I help people, the more I grow myself, the more I get to earn that, and we can only earn, and we're limited by our personal growth. You can only earn how much you grow yourself. There's a direct correlation to that. right? And so I want to just say that to women, like that's okay to do that. Like there's so many great things out there where you are the expert, you are that person that can provide that service, that opportunity for other people. Like, and that's what I love about this profession so much. I get to show people, and women specifically, families, I get to show people another way of life. I get to show people that, it doesn't matter how old you are, or maybe you're not relevant in your work anymore. Here, you can just write your own ticket, right? And you can just be all the things you never thought you could. That's just a cool thing. But I wanted to make that point of, you know, earn more to give more, earn more to serve more. Like you got to shift that mindset around money. If you have that money is bad or bad things happen, like that was my mindset for a long time. I still fight that all the time. I still constantly are saying affirmations to myself. Money flows freely and frequently. Money is energy. Money is a magnifier. La 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 la. You know what I mean? Those things are still. I got to do that constantly still.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's a work in progress. But you again mentioned something very important. Do you know the story of Roger Bannister, the runner?
4 minute mile, yeah.
Yeah. So he was running the mile, and nobody believed that it is possible to run the mile below 5 minutes. And he was the first runner, and no one before him achieved it. But then he was making it, and since then, I think it was 2,000 people are running the mile below 5 minutes. So it's just in your mind. If you have, it's the same as your 100,000 barrier. This is a barrier in your mind, and as soon as this barrier is falling, there comes this next barrier. There comes this next goal, and then the old barrier is nothing anymore. You get used to that. You're expanding your financial comfort zone, or any comfort zone.
Any comfort zone, exactly.
That's an absolutely great insight. Thanks for this. Really, really awesome. So I have a question. That's who of you in your relationship with your man, who of you is managing the finances?
We kind of do it. We do it together.
You do it together. Cool. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Because usually women are not allowed to do it, or they are not getting the task of doing it. And although they are the better money managers. So that's why also we have founded Packaging Secrets, because we're seeing this development, or we have seen this development in the past, and we want to encourage women just to take over financial responsibility and take this action into their hand.
I think it's also important for because I have girls, I have daughters, right? And we kind of raise them with this attitude that a man is not a plan, right? Honestly, I think that financial autonomy for women is extremely important. Financial, education is important, and I know that we are changing. Like the new generation's different, like the younger people, but it's about time. But there's still lots of women, my age bracket, that have not had that opportunity. And I think it's very important that women start educating themselves, and people like yourself, where there's real opportunity to learn. And I think you're doing excellent work by doing that.
Yeah, thank you. Right. Yeah, thank you. And you are doing excellent work in living your passion and getting excited about what you're doing, and just not feeling what you're doing. I think it doesn't feel like work. It does just feel like a lot of fun, and you love what you're doing. That's how that's what I feel when you're talking about it. So what is your take on investing money on the stocks and crypto market? Did you invest, or what do you do with your savings?
I think we've always been a little bit outside of the norm, in that sense. We've dabbled in all of it. I mean, certainly things have gone up, some things have gone down, some things pay off, some don't. But yes, we have absolutely dabbled in all of it. We also over the years, one of the things we did when we were younger, we built a lot of houses, and we were at a time in the market where that was really advantageous. You know, people thought we were crazy. Sometimes we lived in a place for 18 months, and you know, we built it, and we got a bump, and we sold it, and we kept moving up and kept moving up and kept moving up, and we created, you know, a lot of revenue, a lot of income that way, or a lot of um, personal net worth because of that, right? That was a really, really important. So I think it's really important to diversify. You have to look at all different things, and you need to be open more than ever to looking at alternative currencies, alternative investing opportunities and strategies. You need to be open. I think it's very important. I think that's one thing I would say that my husband and I have always been. We've been yes people, okay? We don't say no, we say yes, okay? Lots of times. We tried also when we were raising our children, really hard, I'm gonna get really bright light here, is not to say no a lot. We tried not to say no a lot. We tried to say, okay, well, let's see how we can figure this out. Or let's see, how can we create the income to make this happen? Let's see, what could we do to do this, right? Not no, or no, we can't afford this, or that kind of language really limits you. So yeah, we've tried it all, to be honest. And I think it's kind of exciting too. It makes you feel like you're not stagnant, you know what I mean? And you know, you're when you put that energy out there, I think that energy comes back to you.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yep.
So energy and the universe, they are delivering if you are doing it the right way. All right, so let's come to an end for today. We can continue this, by the way, the next time, because I think there are so many things to talk about. For today, I have one final question or one final task for you. It's a word wrap. So I'm asking you I'm giving you sentences, and you just complete them by, if possible, just using one word. Is that okay for you? Are you ready to start?
Ready to go. Ready to go.
So, family is?
Everything.
My passion is?
Helping people.
I love?
Life.
Describe your life.
Full. It's just one word?
Yeah.
It's full.
Okay. You feel like, sometimes you feel like a celebrity. Then what does it mean to you?
Celebrity self doesn't mean anything, but you know, when I decide to be my highest self, I shine a light on the path of other people's brilliance. So being my highest, best self gives permission to others.
Cool. A skill you think everyone should learn?
Investing.
Women are great in managing money.
Yes, they are. And they need to do more.
If you had all the money you can imagine, what would be your first action?
Figuring out ways to show others how to get to the same place.
Awesome. Investing in stocks and cryptos is?
A must.
And financial freedom is?
Possible.
Thank you. So awesome. Thanks for staying with us. And I want to mention, we have on 27th of November, we have our Wealth Acceleration Weekend. This is our Black Friday offer at Catching Secrets. So that means instead of giving some discounts or whatever, we are providing value. We're providing a full weekend of information and around investing in stocks and cryptos. We have some limited free seats. If they are used, we have €15 attendance fee. If you would like to participate, just drop me a line or drop a line into the comments. If you have more questions to Angela, just feel free to ask her. And your final words for today, Angela?
Final words, I want to say thank you for the time. I want to say thank you for the gift, because when we look back, you know, we get to see how far we've come, and I really appreciate that journey down memory lane today, especially from another fellow Austrian. Appreciate the opportunity to just, you know, to kind of speak into you today and tell you that anything is possible. If you find yourself in a tough spot today, know that you don't have to stay there. And reach out to me, reach out to people, reach out to Bernie. Take advantage of people that are out here, you know, forging that path. And I just want to say thank you for the time. Really appreciate it.
You're well welcome, and see you very soon. And finally, we have our move. This is the Kaching move. It's if you don't know this, if you can remember those old cash machines with a big on the side, they had something to turn, and it was a big machine, and when you opened it and you put money in and you closed it, it was making this noise. It was Kaching. And out of this, we have developed our Kaching move. And every time when money is coming in, every time when we have a Kaching moment, we are having a Kaching. And I feel really blessed to have you today in the call. So this time profits didn't arrive in the financial meaning, but they arrived in the spiritual and in the energy meaning. So thanks for this. Thanks for tuning in, for joining us, and see you very soon. Let's do the move. Ka-ching! Bye-bye.